Hello, this is MrChabry, and we're going to be looking at the bug types that are available in Pokemon X and Pokemon Y. And the bug type is a type that you often encounter early on. They're usually weaker, but there are some bug types that can actually hold their own as a member of your team. So we're going to talk about all of them, and we're going to focus mostly on those that actually can hold their own. The first one we're going to look at is at Vivillon. And the first set of bug types are going to be those that you find early on in the game, so they actually don't do very well as a member of your team. Vivillon is one of those. It's got decent speed, decent special attack. If you do want to use this thing, you need to have Quiver Dance to actually be able to survive hits because it's so frail, and to be able to outspeed and hit things back. Other than that, it doesn't really do well, and if you've got a Pokemon that relies on setup to actually do anything, is probably not a worthy Pokemon for a slot on your team. That being said, I would say Vivillon's more of like a challenge run Pokemon. If you're doing this, like say this is your first time going through this, early on it could help, but it gets outclassed pretty quickly. So I would say skip Vivillon. And the unfortunate thing is Butterfree falls in that same camp. Same typing, bug flying. This one has okay special attack, and that's about it. It is held back by the same reasons as Vivillon. You need Quiver Dance to have a chance. And the thing is, this one is not as bulky, has less bulk to it. It is slower. And the only thing is that same special attack. That's pretty much it. Has higher special defense, but lower HP, so it doesn't really help you out that much. It's another one of those that might be good early game, but then as soon as you get something to replace it, it's probably best to switch it out. The other Pokemon that is kind of seen as the counterpart to Butterfree is going to be Beedrill. Instead of Bug Flying, this one is Bug Poison, which is actually a cool typing. It gives you a super effective option against the new Fairy type. That being said, it doesn't really give you much in terms of stats. It's like 90 attack. That's its best stat, and that's pretty much it. So Beedrill is another Pokemon that is probably best to skip. Now, Mega Beedrill, that's an Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire Pokemon. You can't get access to it here in X and Y. If you do play Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, this is a great Pokemon. 145 speed, 150 attack. It's super dangerous, and it can hit things really hard, but you're not playing that. You're looking at this for X and Y, so yeah, Beedrill is one of those that's probably best skipped. Same thing with Wormadam. It's a pretty garbage Pokemon. There's actually 3 forms of Wormadam, each of them having a different typing. Bug Grass is probably honestly one of the worst typings because it gives you so many weaknesses. And in terms of Wormadam, it's trying to be a bulkier Pokemon, but it's with that 60 HP, it's not really going to be able to take that many hits, even with a 105 special defense. And move-wise, it doesn't have much it can do off a 79 special attack. You can see it's trying to suggest some moves, but you're not getting very far with even stab moves. Sandy Wormadam, you switch the special defense with defense. You got a slight difference in your stats, but it's still not the best. Bug Ground's little, I would say, marginally better than Bug Grass, but it's still pretty garbage. Typing-wise, the best one would be Wormadam Trash. This one, they balance out the defense and special defense. Bug Steel, you're only weak to fire. That's it. So that's a great typing. However, you still have the issues as the other ones where you can't really do much. 60 HP is not going to help you too much with that attempt at being a bulky Pokemon. This is one that's probably best skipped. Mothim, same problems with Vivillon and Butterfree. Its stats might help you out in the early game, but it's just not really that great of a Pokemon. And you can see it's the same issue as those. It's probably best to skip, or if you're wanting to challenge yourself, maybe you can try to run one of these. Masquerain, same problem. I think it's funny that these butterfly and moth Pokemon that you get early on, a lot of these early bug types are probably best skipped. And Masquerain is also one of those that's probably best skipped. You really need Quiver Dance to even be able to do anything. And, I mean, this has Intimidate, which actually is pretty good ability-wise, but it's not good enough to for me to suggest you put it on your team. Ladian, similar problem. This time, though, it's trying to be a bulky bug flying type. 110 special defense is pretty good, but 55 HP, it's not actually going to do much for you. It's garbage attack, garbage special attack. It's one of those that's probably best skipped. Vespiquen, also the same problem. 102 defense, 102 special defense, and HP with 70. That's okay. It can actually take some hits. You're going to struggle to do damage back with 80 in attack and special attack. And you're pretty slow, very slow. So you're going to have to hope that, you know, if you get hit with anything that it's weak to, that you can actually survive. That being said, this is another one that's probably best to skip. And it's really hard to find a female Combee so you can get Vespiquen. So most of the times, if you're wanting this thing, you're going to just be running into Combee that can't even evolve. So I don't think it's worth the struggle to get this thing. Ninjask, this is probably the first one that I think can actually hold its own a little bit better. And that's because it's got 160 speed. It's got 90 attack. If you throw Swords Dance on this thing and Protect, you can Protect to get a speed boost. Swords Dance to boost up your attack. You don't necessarily need the speed boost, but a lot of times people run this thing with, say, Baton Pass. So there you're bringing in something that can actually be a threat. This thing's very frail. Keep that in mind. Bug Flying is a garbage type combination. You're weak to so many things that you're going to find very often throughout the game. But that being said, Ninja is probably the first one that has a little bit of hope to it, because it's got okay attack and speed that you can actually hit things with it. And its move pool, it's actually got some decent things it can run, like X, Scissor, Aerial Ace for stab. Infiltrator is also a good ability. Speed Boost is what you're mostly going to be running with. U-Turn, you can switch it out. So this is actually something that I think could actually hold its own a little bit better. It's still going to be a challenge to get it to work, but it can actually do better than, say, some of the other Bug Flyings we came across. Bug Ghost. Now, Shedinja here is a great type combination. I think Shedinja is a cool Pokemon. That being said, it's also a struggle to use on a team. 90 attack is decent. If you run this thing, you got to go Swords Dance. It's slow, so you're not doing much in terms of speed. You're not going to outspeed very much. Special attack, don't even bother with that. And the funny thing is, they give it defense and special defense. That doesn't matter, because the quirk with Shedinja is it always only has 1 HP. No matter how high you level this thing. If you get a Shedinja, say at level 20, or if you get a Shedinja at level 100, they're both always going to have 1 HP. That being said, the quirk with Shedinja is that its ability Wonder Guard means it's only damaged by super effective or indirect damage. So in terms of direct damage, you can only be damaged by Dark Fire, Flying, Ghost, and Rock, which gives you probably like about 13 types that you are pretty much immune to. I know it says resist bug, grass, ground, poison. No, you're immune to those. You're immune to fighting normal, but you're also immune to things like Thunderbolt. You're immune to things like Ice Beam, Dragon Pulse. You're immune to everything that you're not weak to. That is, unless your opponent comes packing Mold Breaker. So that being said, Wonder Guard is pretty cool. You also have to watch out for things like with Toxic or Will-O-Wisp, because if you get burnt or poisoned, it's an instant KO, you're gone. If someone switches in something with Sandstorm abilities or Hell, sets up the Hell, Shedinja's pretty much dead. So it is a struggle to get it to work, but it is a pretty cool gimmick Pokemon if you want to run something like this. Scolipede, now this is actually a decent bug-type Pokemon. I think this is the generation they actually buffed Scolipede. Because if we go back to Black and White, it was one of the Pokemon that, you know, could work on your team, but it's a struggle. They gave it 10 more points in attack, which makes it actually a threat. It has good speed, but it also has speed boost as a hidden ability. So you're going to be able to outspeed a lot of things, and it does have some okay-ish defense. It's not going to live that many things, but you can actually get some knockouts with this thing. Yeah, so this is actually a decent Pokemon. You can actually get some good knockouts running this Pokemon right here. And you can go with Swords Dance, which will boost that 100 attack even higher. And in terms of stab moves, what I think is probably best for you to use is probably something like Poison Tail is something a lot of people do, but I would say Poison Jab is the better option. Some Poison Stab. Mega Horn. I know it has low accuracy, but it hits so hard, and that's really good. And then you can run things, say Earthquake for coverage. You can run a lot of good things like that. So I think this is a solid Pokemon if you find that you want a bug type and you also would like a poison type. I do think Scolipede could actually find a place on your team, and it can actually do some work. Volbeat, this is a gimmick Pokemon alongside its counterpart Illumise. Both of these Pokemon are pretty weak. The only switch between those two is attack, and special attack is flipped. But yeah, these are Pokemon that just don't really do much on your team. They're both pretty frail. They don't have good attack, and they don't have that much that they can do. They do have interesting move spread. Like, they can run things like Dazzling Gleam, even Dynamic Punch. You know, on paper, these are good moves that they can get. But it's not enough with these poor stats to make either of these Pokemon do really much. They're more of support Pokemon, or even, you know, utility Pokemon. I know the sets here show choice specs, but yeah, choice specs are 73. Yeah, no. These are more for utility and competitive. Crustle, now this is another good bug type, and this also comes packing the rock type, which is actually a cool type combination. You don't see very many bug rocks, and this one has really good defense at 125 and decent attack. And, you know, that actually gives you a lot of things that you can do with that attack and that really great defense. You can actually take hits. A lot of people run these things as support, but if you say throw Shell Smash on this guy, you're going to boost up that speed, boost up that attack at the expense of your defense. And you've already got good defense, so as long as you can take that first hit, you can get that Shell Smash off, and then you can actually do a lot of work with this Crustle. So this is actually a really solid Pokemon too. If you find you need a bug rock type, just keep in mind you're slow. You're going to get hit with things, but once you get set up, you can actually do a lot with it. And even without setting up, you can actually do some okay work with it. So I think Crustle is a good bug type if you find that, hey, I also need a rock type. Yanmega is a good bug flying Pokemon. We kind of talked about how there's so many bug flying types that are kind of garbage. This is one that actually can hold its own. Now, 95 speed's, you know, okay, but with speed boost, you're going to be boosting up that speed. 116 special attack, you can hit things pretty hard. And this thing actually gets a lot of really decent moves. Bug Buzz, Giga Drain, Air Slash. You can also throw Shadow Ball on this guy. And there's some more down here that you can get. That can actually help you hold your own in some battles. Like Signal Beam would actually be a decent move if you wanted to go with that. So yeah, this is actually a decent Pokemon. If you find that you really want a bug flying type and you don't want to run something kind of a letdown like Vivillon, Yanmega is a Pokemon that actually could help you out in plenty of situations. Pinsir is a good Pokemon, and I have to say Pinsir is probably where we start getting into some of the bug types that actually are good in their own regards, not because of some niche that they fill or some quirk that they have or some gimmick that they can do. Pinsir is a good bug type. It's not the fastest at 85, but that is an okay speed stat. Defense has okay defense. 125 attack is really good. And in terms of attacks, you know, this thing can get close combat. You can throw Swords Dance on it, even quick attack on Pincer, which is pretty good. A Bug Bite to heal up. Dig for coverage. Heck, forget Dig. Just throw Earthquake on that guy. Yeah, so Earthquake. This is a good Pokemon in terms of moveset. You get a lot of good physical attacks, and that's what you really want. Now, you might notice that Pincer here, it has good abilities, right? Hyper Cutter, you don't have to worry about lowering your attack. Mold Breaker, throw Earthquake on this guy. You know, you can hit that Shedinja. But Moxie has its hidden ability. It can boost up its attack, and that's really good. Now, say you want to use this as your Mega. Mega Pincer is one of the best Mega Pokemon in X and Y. Bug Flying type. We've seen that typing a lot, and usually it's a letdown typing. But I think Mega Pincer is probably the best Bug Flying type. It has this ability, Aerialate. So normal type moves become flying type moves, and that's why the suggested set has Return. Quick Attack becomes a flying type move as well. You can hit things really hard, and that 155 attack is intense. You can hit things hard, and it has good bulk with 120 defense, 90 special defense. Usually faster Pokemon, because this is 105. That's a good speed. Usually fast, hard-hitting Pokemon are frail. This one is not so frail. It'll be able to take hits. This is a great Bug-type Pokemon. Not only that, Bug Flying type. It's one of the few Bug Flying types that can hold its own and actually be a threat to whatever is sent out its way. Heracross is a Bug Fighting type. I think this is another good Pokemon if you're wanting to run this. Just keep in mind it's super weak to flying. And a lot of Pokemon you'll come across, like Fairy Fire, Psychic types, you're weak to. But look at that resist. You've got 5 resistances. Some of those are Pokemon that you're going to be seeing quite a bit throughout the game. Not only that, you've got 125 attack, which is a good attack stat. It's got okay speed. It's got okay special defense, too. So it's got enough bulk to take hits. This is a really good Pokemon. And moveset-wise, you know, throw close combat onto that guy. You've got abilities like Moxie, just like Pincer, if you go with that. So you can get a boost. Guts, get an attack boost if you're poisoned or burnt. And we'll actually look at some of these other moves, then we'll kind of talk about the set is suggesting. But yeah, you get Body Slam, which is good. Brick Break. Bulk Up's a good setup move. Close Combat, you really want that for your Fighting Stab. In terms of Bug-type moves, Mega Horn's going to be your best bet. But you can also throw Pin Missile, and we'll talk about where Pin Missile will come in handy. Rock Slide, Rock Blast is on here. Smackdown, punish those flying types for coming in. You also have moves like Swords Dance. Swords Dance boosts up that attack a lot more. Now, say, you know, you're like, oh, I would like to use a Mega. Well, Mega Heracross is also Bug Fighting, but you also have the Skill Link ability. So moves like Pin Missile and Rock Blast are going to hit their total maximum amount. And look at that stat distribution. 185 attack. Mega Heracross is a beast on the battlefield. It will knock things out. And it's got good bulk. 115 defense, 105 special defense. The only thing is you have a reduction in speed, but this is still a huge threat of a Pokemon. And 185 attack plus, you know, Swords Dance. Yeah, this is another good Bug type, an actual good Bug type. Shuckle, however, goes back to those gimmicky Bug types. The famous thing with Shuckle is it's got the craziest stat distribution. It's got 230 defense and special defense, which is insane, but only 20 HP. So it's not as bulky as you would think it would be. But yeah, you've got crazy defense and special defense, and mainly these things are meant to be like setup Pokemon that you just send out, set up, and just let it get knocked out. That's really it. Shuckle is a gimmick. That's it. You're not doing any damage. Look at that. You got 10 attack, special attack. That's it. 5 speed. You are one of the slowest Pokemon out there. So it's not a good Pokemon. It's hard to make use. It struggles in anything, and even if, you know, say you were to give this thing like some offensive options and Shell Smash, so Shell Smash does not help you out, really. It does not. Boosting up that attack is not going to be enough that it can actually be a threat. So I would say Shuckle is one of those that it's better off skipped. Not Carablast. Escavalier, that's the one I meant to look at. So Escavalier is a good bug type. This one has good attack, 135, and it's got good bulk on both sides. Plus, that typing is top tier. Bug Steel is one of the best type combinations you can get. And that's actually funny because, you know, Bug is garbage, Steel is good, but together they make something better than their individual components. Good attack. It is slower, so keep that in mind. You don't want to get hit with fire-type moves because those would do a lot of damage, even with that good bulk. But yeah, this is a great Pokemon. This is another one that you can run Swords Dance on. Let me see here. Yeah, Swords Dance. You can run Swords Dance on this thing. It gets good moves like Mega Horn, Iron Head, Knockoff, Drill Run. You can throw Pursuit on it if you want, you know, to do this competitively. You get some moves like Drill Run. You can hit things that, like those fire types, that's normally a problem. You can actually hit them with something. Fell Stinger is a very situational move. I wouldn't really suggest it on your in-game team on anything because it's weak. It does give you 2 an attack after you knock out something, but it's just not the best. Poison Jab, that'll help you out with some Pokemon. Good coverage all around. I would say this is a solid bug type, solid bug steel type. Just keep in mind it's slower. Yeah, that's okay. You don't always need speed on your team. It's a solid Pokemon. Selgor is the counterpart to it, and I would say this is also a decent Pokemon. I would say out of the two, Escavalier is better because you get that consistent damage. However, Selgor is good in the fact that it is a special attacker and it is fast. 145 speed means it's going to hit things really hard, and 100 special attack. Let me rephrase that. 145 is going to hit things very fast. 100 speed, it's going to be okay at hitting things, and you know you can throw Bug Buzz for coverage. It doesn't really have much to help you in abilities. Hydration needs Rain to be active. Sticky Hold, you just don't lose an item from Knockoff. Unburden, I think, is the hidden ability. But you know you're already fast, and Unburden only comes up in, like, say, competitive battles. So it's a decent Pokemon. You get some good special moves like Sludge Bomb. Bug Buzz, of course, is going to be your go-to. Energy Ball, that will help you out. Giga Drain if you want some health to come back to you. Knockoff is good for attack. It's not going to do much damage, but you can knock things off. Say you're struggling. Signal Beam. I would say Bug Buzz is probably the better out of those two. Sludge Bomb for coverage. And Water Shuriken. I think that might be an egg move. But that would actually help you out with, say, a fire type that gets sent out here to take on your Selgor. So yeah, another decent Pokemon. It would actually hold its own pretty well on your team. Durant. Now this is an interesting Pokemon because it has that great typing. But whereas the other Bug Steel types we saw are more they have more bulk to them, and they're a little bit on the slower side. This one is fast, and it has okay bulk. Now, 58 HP is pretty bad. But 112 defense, that is a decent defense stat there. 109 attack, that's pretty good as well. 109 speed, you're going to be able to outspeed some things. When it comes to abilities, Hustle might be your best because you get an attack boost. Even though your accuracy gets reduced. But, you know, Iron Head, X-Scissor, you can throw Rock Slide, maybe even Super Power. So, yeah, you do get some good options move-wise. Keep in mind that, you know, you're very weak to fire with this thing. But I think this thing could be a decent addition as well. Ariados, it's odd that this thing comes so late in the game. Because at this point, you've came across good bug types that actually can do well on your team, and then you come across this thing which kind of goes back to the idea of the first drought bug types, where it's kind of there to fill out the Pokedex. It's a pretty garbage Pokemon. 90 attack is good. That's really all that it has. It's slow. It's frail. It can hit okay. That's it. Poison typing is good for, you know, fairies, but you can see the suggested set is just a lead using Sticky Web. And that's pretty much it. Sticky Web's its best option, but you're not really worried about that in an in-game team. So I would say Ariados is one of those Pokemon that's probably best to skip. Scyther. Now, this is a decent bug flying type Pokemon. Got 110 attack, 105 speed. You're decently fast. You can hit decently hard. And with Technician, you get a boost on some of these moves like Aerial Ace. You get a boost on Bug Bite and Quick Attack. Even, no, not knockoffs outside of that range. But you get some decent options here. You get some decent moves, decent stats. So this is a good bug-type Pokemon. I do feel like some of the others outclass it a little bit, but it is a good bug-type if you're really wanting to use it. And on the other hand, Scizor is a great bug-type. It's got that bug-steel typing that is so good for bug-types. It just takes a bug-type and elevates it to something higher when you add steel to it. 130 attack. That is a good attack stat. 100 defense is pretty good as well. 80 special defense is okay. And, you know, Technician with Bullet Punch. You can actually hit things pretty hard. You get Swords Dance and Roost on this, so you can have actually help its survivability. So, yeah, this is a good Pokemon. Bug Bite. That is in the range of Technician. So, yeah, that is pretty good. You get Superpower as well for coverage. Like I said, Roost. Defog if you want a more utility set. So yeah, this is a great Pokemon. Great moves all around. Great stats. And not only that, here in X and Y, you have access to a Mega Evolution on this thing. And now, take a look at this. 150 attack. That is great. 140 defense. Yes. 100 special defense. Oh, okay. You got a little boost in that, and that'll help you out. And, you know, your speed did go up a little bit. But you don't really need to worry about that because you've got Bullet Punch. So this thing is probably, in my opinion, probably my favorite bug type. And it's because it can hit hard and it can take hits. And even its Mega Form is just so good. So that's all the bug types here in X and Y. Which one of these do you think you're going to add one of these to your team? Let me know which one you're going to add in the comments. Give it a like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next Pokemon video.